Well, it's been 3 years since I got this set up, and apparently that video with the unboxing went pretty semi-viral for me. This is the Burton ripcord. Got it 3 years ago. It's a full rocker. I'm getting rid of it. Has the Burton custom bindings, so they're very soft. I don't know if you can see it. They have a lot of twist. Not much high back support. I mean, they're playful. They're fun. I had to add a little bit of forward lean. Yeah, but this is Burton's literally entry-level beginner board, and they talk about how you're going to progress. Well, I progressed a lot faster than the average Joe, and I was just being held back with my board forever, riding this super soft rocker flat top board, and I wanted something that's more responsive. So ended up getting this board, checking a bunch of reviews, and it's the new 2022 Capita Outer Space Living Board. Very light, feels lighter than the ripcord. Now I am downsizing. The ripcord is a 158 wide, and this is a 155 wide. I plan on losing weight to try to balance that out, but I want something that's a little bit shorter, something easier to spin, because I couldn't fully learn like 360s with the ripcord. I could kind of do them on flat, but that took like all of my energy, and you just felt like you had this big weight holding you down, pulling you down, and then like you could feel like the center of gravity being spread out more to the edges, and that makes it harder to rotate versus being condensed. So long story short, most people would agree shorter boards allow you to turn easier. You just don't have as much stability. But to make up for that stability, the thing that's different about this board versus the ripcord is it is a hybrid camber. The other one is a flat top rocker. Apparently not even a real rocker. At least rockers are more like this. And then the Burton is super flat with just rocker on the tips and tails. So it really kind of just holds you back. It literally says from learning to link your first turns to progressing to the blues or something. I don't even know what their description on the website is. But I was taking that sucker off 50-foot jumps and going down double black diamonds and going off backcountry, and I'm surprised it held up. The other benefit about why I'm going to keep the ripcord is because it's a rocker, and it's soft, and it's a 158 wide, and at least with the channel system on Burton boards, you can slide it back. It's going to be a great powder board. Not the best powder board, but a board that big and that flat, and then being able to do a full set back stance, I think it'll be good in powder. But this is lighter. It's got that hybrid camber. So with Capita, you guys probably can't see, but long story short, it's camber between the feet. So if I hypothetically, it's kind of hard to see, it doesn't look that aggressive, but if I laid it flat on the ground, the middle would probably be up in the air. So it's going to be bouncy between the feet, and you should get kind of more of a bounce and responsiveness and pop, and you'll be able to tweak it. It'll load up, spring you up. And then it's rocker on the tips and edges past the feet, so I won't catch an edge as much, because that's all everyone talks about is with full cambers, you can catch an edge. Maybe they're beginners. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know the last time I caught an edge, but this should help with that. And then they advertise that rocker part helping you with doing butters, presses, and floating in powder. So I'm excited about that because I want full camber. Not full camber, but I at least want some camber to allow pop, because the Burton board, you just have to manhandle that. Like, it doesn't spring you up. You lift the board up, the board does not assist, it does not rocket you, nothing. So this should help with that. Plus the Burton, again, the beginner ripcord, very good board if you're a beginner and you plan on riding every once in a while. Now if you're riding like twice a week, 3 times a week like me, it's 3 years it's gonna get outdated. So, but it's a good board, but it has dull edges. Again, helps you from catching an edge. Very soft and playful and surfy. This should have better edges just because it's a more higher end Capita board, and it's pretty icy here on Mount Hood, and it's really hard. It's kind of scary slowing down on the ripcord, and it's loud. and you definitely can't carve at all on that board. Like, the only time I've been able to carve is when there's deep spring slush, and that's the only way the edges can get in, and even then, that's kind of weird. But not bashing that board too much. I mean, I'm going to keep it. I like it. But this should have better edges, and then camber, the way it flexes, it should make full contact and also help with better edge control. And apparently, this board is also, I've done the little flex test where you bend it and all that. I've done the flex test. This board is stiffer than the ripcord. I thought the ripcord was stiff because I had seen some of my friends that had straight noodles, and I was like, oh, well, that would be really easy to do butters and presses. I guess I just didn't have the right technique, and instead of hitting that correct point, I was just having to manhandle my butters and really force them, and so that's why it wasn't really that comfortable. And then the fact that it was a 158 wide board. So this is shorter, it's stiffer, maybe a little harder to do some butters and presses, but I think if I figure it out, I'll get it. The flex is a 5. Sorry. It's not too bad. I mean, again, like I said, it's stiffer than the ripcord. And apparently, what all the experts tell me, again, I don't know, this could be right, that stiffer boards are easier to control at high speeds. That's what everyone says. I've never had a problem with high speeds on the ripcord. I mean, I've never complained or had a problem. People... trying to think of how to say this. I'm not trying to brag, but like, I've never felt like the board was holding me back when I was riding at really high speeds. Just cruising with my friends, we go 50 to 55, like average, like on blue groomers or slush and stuff. So like, I'm used to going pretty fast. My record was at Sierra Tahoe. I hit 72. That was actually an accident. That's like a long story. I was actually trying to pass somebody, and then I got hit the point of like no return where I didn't feel confident enough slamming on the brakes riding that fast, so I just had to ride out that groomer. But I hit 72. That's my record. Never felt like my board was an issue. Never felt unstable. Any of the times that I've gone really fast, which again, I've done like 55 too many times to count. And I just never felt like the issue was the board. It was usually like, okay, the groomer is, too choppy, and when you're going that fast, every little bump will send you airborne. So apparently those stiffer boards give you more stability. I don't have any reference points with my soft rocker board to compare it to, but I never felt like the board was holding me back. So maybe when I try to go fast on this, I'll be like, oh my gosh, this is so much better. This feels way better going fast. And then I'll be able to like formulate some words about how the softer boards are worse. Because I do like to go fast. We'll see how the camber and stiffer board profile helps at higher speeds. Apparently, though, this has a better base than it has a centered base versus an extruded base. So this should allow more wax to be soaked up and allow it to go faster. So, long story short, this board should be faster, more stable at high speeds, ollie better and pop higher, and have more solid landings on bigger jumps, because apparently you can wash out with the more noodly type board. And this should have better edge control when it comes to ice and carving and stuff like that. So better in every way. And only Burton people will know this, but this just has the normal little holes. Little side note, that's nice, because part of the reason I left Burton is because of their channel system. Again, the boards are really good. I like the boards. It's just the channel system kept getting loose and my bindings would slide, and I had to take it to a shop multiple times. They had to do a bunch of tinkering. I was about to just use some straight like hardcore epoxy glue and just glue my bindings into place so I could never adjust them, and then that's the stance I'm stuck with for life, because the channel system is so bad. So this is the Capita board. I'm not going to spend too much on that. Now for the next gear, we have, as you guys can see, I got some Ride Jackson boots. These look a little more aggressive and slimmer than boots I was riding before. I'm sorry I didn't bring them out of the room, but those were called the Head Scout boots, and they were warm. They were soft, very, very soft, playful, and they were also boas, but the suede on the